In this video, I'm going to show you how to plan, film, and edit an entire week of content in just 1 hour. You'll know exactly what to post and get a system down for streamlining your process. I'm Lavonda Rocks, Twitch streamer and content creation coach. People have been asking me how I managed to do it all.
How does she do it?
Streaming 2 times a week, posting across all social media platforms, a full-time teaching job, a family. If I can do it, so can you. And today I am exposing my workflow. I can't with myself. Make sure you stay till the end so you get my secret strategy sauce. Dirty again. To getting more reach. I don't hear a lot of people talking about this tip. I also made you a free content planner that goes along with this video. If you like this workflow, the link is in the description. It's gonna help you get clear and organized. Let's get cracking. Okay, stage number 1. This is the research and planning stage. This is a stage where you're gonna decide what you're gonna post that's interesting not only to you, but also to the people who follow you. An easy way to get ideas flowing is to have something called a content bucket. Now, if you already know what I'm talking about, just skip ahead in the chapters to the next stage. But if you need more info, let me quickly explain. These categories or buckets can be anything. Think of your brand or your stream or your business as the umbrella under which you're going to create everything else. But under your umbrella as a creator, you're going to list all the things that you can make content about that you like and that your followers will like. So let's say you are a gamer and you play Minecraft. Under the umbrella of Minecraft, maybe you want to do a category for Minecraft tips. Maybe you want to make a category for highlights or funny moments. Maybe you have a category that's for walkthroughs. Or how about a category for stream setup? You need to start thinking about these categories in terms of what do the people who follow you also want to see? Or if you're a DJ or a music producer, maybe you have a category for behind the scenes of your creative process. Or how about a category for your mixing skills or maybe a mashup that you've done? And maybe a category for micro tips about the gear you use. So once you have these categories, you're going to have this framework and you're going to be able to come up with a ton of different ideas. You'll never wonder again, what am I going to post? You'll never be scrambling at the last minute, and you'll never again bore your followers with your endless flyer promotions. The next part of this planning stage involves following leaders from your industry or your niche. Niche. I say niche. I think it sounds fancier. And for the sake of this video, we're going to use following people on Instagram as the example, but it works across everything. Find the people that you admire who are doing what you're doing or what you want to do. A lot of people in marketing call this the competition, but I prefer to call it the inspiration. It just has a completely different energy. And my advice to you is to not only follow just the leaders, but also the channels that are approximately your size or maybe just a little bit bigger. Not only do you need to find these accounts, but you also need to research the relevant hashtags in your niche or your space. Once you have these hashtags, there's also a space in the planner that I made that you can keep these. Now we have our accounts and our hashtags ready. We need to make these our favorites on Instagram. You do this by clicking the 3 dots at the top right hand corner of the account that you're trying to favorite and click the star that says add to favorites. Now that you've got your research done, let's hop on over to the computer. In order to keep myself organized at this stage, I use a free service called Trello. There are many others, including Airtable, Notion, even a Google Calendar or Google Spreadsheet. But Trello is simple and easy. So the way Trello works is that you have this main board or workspace, and you create lists that can be moved around. Within each list is a space to create cards that will have your ideas and tasks to do. And in these cards is where you can actually type things. The first list here is what I call research, where you're going to type and save the hashtags and accounts that you followed earlier, just so that you have a backup of it. When you click the card, you'll see there's a place in the description where you can type your info. You want to do this because then you have a list of hashtags that you can copy and paste into your descriptions. It's also a good idea to have different categories of lists for the different content that you make. You'll want to vary your hashtags and keep them relevant to what you're posting about. Just think about hashtags as a way for the algorithm to be able to categorize the content you're making. Next over on the board is your list of content categories. These are the buckets that we talked about earlier. I have 5 main buckets that I pull from on a given week, which are clips and highlights, value, community, and promotional. In the planner that I'm giving you, you can change these to anything you want. This is really just a resource to visually help me make sure that I'm varying my content and kind of connecting each of these to a different day of the week. I don't always want to inundate my followers with just promotional stuff. I want to try to vary it and spice it up. Your categories are going to depend on your niche, so just remember the umbrella exercise that we did earlier. You can also take a look at your inspirational accounts and see what they're doing. Next is my list of weekly ideas. This is where I put my saved ideas during the week that I think of, or anything coming up that I'm going to want to promote. Trello also has a handy mobile app, so when you're on the go and inspiration strikes, you can just type it in really quickly. Now let's get to the fun stuff. In order to not get lost in scrolling when I'm doing my research, I'll set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes. And when I'm doing this, I'm telling my brain that we have a mission or an objective as we scroll through Instagram, TikTok, or Shorts. What we're going to do is we're going to find 5 to 10 reels we can use within our unique categories. So on Instagram, you're going to look at what your favorite accounts that you're following are doing. You're going to try to emulate their successes. You're not copying them. You're going to make the idea unique by putting your own unique spin on it. Once you find something that you can see yourself making, you're going to save it on your phone and keep it for your filming. It's coming up later. I usually save 5 to 10, so I have some choices. So let me show you an example. This reel was trending at the time of filming, and I had an idea to replicate it using frequently asked questions from streamers. I would then put this category into trends. Now I have an example and something to remember. I can go back and look at what was my idea exactly. Boom, one idea done. Next, I know on Tuesdays, I'm going to want to do a clip from my stream because I stream on Sundays. Then I know that Wednesdays are going to be the day where I do my micro tips that's offering value. Thursday, I might answer a question from the community, so on and so forth. Friday, I've got some promotional stuff because I just released some merch, and you can see everything is really balanced. Here's another example. This is a trending reel where I had this idea. So I'm going to just copy that and I'm going to paste it into my card. And you can see that once you have this set up and you kind of get like in a workflow of what type of content you're going to post every day of the week, it just becomes so much easier every time you do it. Something to note here is that if you get in the habit of documenting your day or setup before a stream or getting ready for a product launch or whatever it may be, then you're going to automatically have a lot of content that you can post and draw from. You don't always have to, nor should you be making content that is just related to trends. This is the fun part. You're looking through your reels, you're jotting down notes, you're keeping the categories in mind. And then after you've filled out all of your days for the next week, you're ready to move on to the filming portion. Okay, stage 3 is about filming. And I've got some pointers that are going to help you fly through this process. First, you want to dedicate a block of time, 30 to 45 minutes, where you're going to batch all of your videos. And remember, the more that you do this, the easier it will become. There's a day and a time that works best for you that you can commit to stay consistent. Consistency is the key. I typically record Saturday mornings, block out about a half an hour, and each week I get faster and faster. Another way to get faster is to have a space dedicated and set up ready for you to film. If you're constantly having to set everything up, it's going to not only take more time, but it's going to crush your creativity. Trust me, I know this one too well. Make sure you have good lighting. Having a well-lit shot is going to make your camera look even better no matter what you're using. And don't get too hung up on the camera. Your phone is just fine. If you're going to spend any money, get a mic first. You can even get a lavalier mic that just plugs right into your phone. You don't have to be fancy. I have a link to one in the description that I've used. Another item you're going to need that's not going to break the bank is a tripod. You can get this one for 12 to 15 bucks. The link is below as well. We're trying to keep something dedicated just for your filming day. Now, a couple of best practices. When you're filming your shorts or your reels or your TikToks, you want to make sure that you have space above and below. Above and below so that your text doesn't get cut off. You want to make sure that you're looking into the camera so you're connecting, and you want to try to make sure that the camera eye level. So after you're done filming, you want to just save those to your drafts. Do not worry about putting on the text and the captions and doing the effects and all that. That's going to come later. Just get the filming out of the way. And depending on what kind of content I'm making, I'll either film inside of the app or I might use a third-party app. And that's going to lead us right into the next stage, which is editing the videos. Now, the timing of editing is going to depend, but again, I like to set a timer and kind of challenge myself to get through it so I don't spend too much time obsessing about the little things. Just remember as you're editing that done is better than perfect, especially if you're not used to creating content consistently. We're aiming to get a week's worth of content done in 1 hour, but when you're starting, it might take you a little bit longer. Some best practices for editing. It's got to be short and snappy. You want to remove all the dead space, all the pauses, all the breaths, and you are aiming for a high view duration. For videos under 15 seconds, most platforms will want you to have a better than 100% average view duration, which means that someone would have to watch it one time and then the beginning again. Now let's talk about stage 5, writing the captions, hashtags, and saving into your drafts or scheduler tool. The description and caption doesn't need to be long. Just remember to use relevant and searchable keywords for your video. Tell the viewer what you want them to know and tell them what you want them to do. This might look like asking them to like, comment, or share. And speaking of, if you like this video, if it helped you, please give me a like. Subscribe only if you like to have fun while learning about live streaming and content creation. Now, you've already researched relevant hashtags, so you can copy and paste them right into your post. Again, hashtags aren't as important as other factors in getting reach, but think of them as ways to categorize what you're doing. So after you finish the entire video, save it to your drafts or put it in a scheduling tool like later.com. Personally, I like to manually post mine, my super secret strategy for getting more engagement, which we're going to talk about next in stage 6, the daily uploads. Choose a time of day that you can consistently upload. Don't get too hung up on the best time to post. On each platform, you can look at your insights, see when your audience is online. But again, done is better than perfect. So do it when you're able to and set a timer if you need help remembering. Now, the super secret strategy that I was talking about is to spend a few minutes on your feed before and after you post. And what you're doing is commenting on posts from other people that you follow, other people that you might want to be engaged with your content, and actually spend the time to write an authentic response. No fire emojis. You've got to say more. And what you're doing when you're doing this is you're building relationships, because remember, social media is reciprocal. You get what you give. You're also signaling to the algorithm that this is a person that you are connected to and that you want to be connected to, and thus you have a greater chance of getting your content shown to them. Now, after you're done posting, you can do the same thing. Respond to other people, comment on their posts, like what they're doing, build the relationship. Now, there are other things you need to do after posting, including responding to all comments with 3 or more words, and also reviewing your insights to see what worked and what didn't. Remember, if it performs well, make more. Now, here's another video I think you'll like as ways to grow as a streamer, because social media is one way, but what about things like networking correctly and optimizing your channels? Who's the side bitch? Pipe down! She's my coffee bitch. Belly, be quiet. I can't.